Boozed and Bothered on occasion may contain content that readers and listeners find offensive or distasteful. The views and opinions expressed on this podcast or on the articles on the website are solely those of the individual authors, speakers, and or guests, and do not necessarily reflect the views of Boozed and Bothered as a whole, or the views of any of Boozed and Bothered's affiliate or parent companies and organizations. Enjoy the show.
That was a relatively quiet Christmas break, though.
It was super quiet.
I'm surprised at how quiet it was. Given who the man who holds the White House is.
Oh, you mean in the news?
And he's like really smart.
Well, like, first of all, I love that everybody enjoys this so much. I'm just over here.
I think my favorite part is just like how angry everyone was about that.
They were like really mad.
They were super mad.
You
know, and
my favorite was Donald J. Trump. The J is for genius.
Yeah.
I was like, stop it, guys.
It's just crazy to me, right? Because like, you know, we're almost a year in here. And everyone knows this guy is a massive shit talker. Like this guy, you know, he doesn't care about the media publicity or anything or what it has to say.
Oh, I think he cares a lot. I just think he knows how to like
Yeah, he knows how to manipulate it.
I don't think he cares about backlash from that.
No, he doesn't care about backlash.
I think he expects it, and I think he craves it, and he lives on it.
Yeah, he likes the attention. But it's just, you know, and like after 11 months now, this is expected behavior. And tweet after tweet, people are still mad. Like they're freaking out and it's almost like they're still surprised that he says these things.
Well, I could be wrong, but I feel like a lot of people expect like the curtain to rise and him to be like, haha, it was all a show. I'm actually like a serious person.
Yeah.
And that, I mean, we could still be facing that down the road. I don't know, but
it's only year one.
I know it's only year. Well, I can't talk. I don't know why I should expect my president to. I think that people constantly freak out because they feel important by freaking out.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it's like conservatives who were constantly like outraged by Obama. Like,
yeah.
Okay. It's like all the way back at the very beginning. When at the very end, it was like the last act of Congress in like 2009 or 2010 or something like that. And they were like, before we go to recess, we're going to repeal Don't Ask, Don't Tell. And everyone was like, oh my God, I can't believe it.
Yeah.
And Obama was like, I'm signing it. And people were like, he better not. It'll ruin this country.
Yeah.
And he was like, and it's signed. And people were like, oh my God, we're going to have the worst military ever. I can't believe the gays are going to sign up and they're going to learn how to shoot guns. And I'm like, first of all, everybody that I've ever dated in the military was gay. So,
well,
welcome to it.
Duh. They just didn't talk about it.
I mean,
with people in the military anyway.
I don't know. It was a little bit. It wasn't exactly as like buttoned up as people.
Sure.
Like to make it seem or whatever.
Well, it's a lot of process to let somebody go. You know, like
I don't know. I don't know anything about that, but I do know that
I've been through it with a friend.
Okay, well, stop it. He's not gay. Stop.
Still, separation's a lot. It's the government. It's bureaucratic. Come on.
Yeah, but that's different. You know, if you were gay, you were.
It's not like that. You know, they're gonna find out you're gay and hand you like a literal pink slip and say you're fired.
Yeah, it was kind of like that.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like there's more paperwork involved and a dishonorable discharge.
Nope.
Was it a dishonorable discharge if you were homosexual?
I think so. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Just like a slap in the face and a double outer.
Yeah.
It's like
that
I'm out. You're out.
That fucks your shit. Like that messes your shit up, especially in civilian life. If it's a dishonorable discharge like that leaves some marks.
Yeah.
That's bruisey.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
But then again, I mean, I don't know. Anyways, the point is that Obama did things like this, and he backed this legislation, and he backed, he did executive orders, and conservatives like freaked out, and they were like, "Oh my God, the sky is falling." And liberals are doing the exact same thing. It's just that liberals scream louder. The lung capacity on a liberal is definitely twice as big.
It's impressive.
Yeah, the vocal cords, the vibration is like, it's right there.
It's impressive.
It's a beautiful vibrato.
I mean, all the screamers on Inauguration Day and
yes,
and November 8th, 2017.
First of all, I don't know why liberals were making fun of Trump's inauguration numbers to begin with. Half of all the people there were liberals protesting.
Yeah.
So you're in the picture, boo boo.
Thank you.
Thank you. But people,
Yeah.
my numbers were huge. Everyone was screaming for me. They were.
That's true.
They were.
Oh man.
And but conservatives did this under Obama.
Yeah.
Liberals are doing this under Trump. They're just screaming louder, and it's about everything.
It's pretty much standard operating procedure, I mean, especially when you're operating in kind of a two-party system. Kind of exactly a two-party system.
It is. I mean, I don't think anybody would argue with that. I think it's funny that people ignore the fact that the overwhelming number of people either don't vote or are independent, and I think that everyone agrees that number is growing. And that Democrats and Republicans are losing ground.
Yeah.
But
sure.
Who cares? Yeah,
Fuck them.
I don't care. I mean, one, I didn't vote for the guy, so I don't really have
Me either.
a horse in this race. Other than enjoying things that I'm not mad about that he does. I mean, there's a lot.
Maybe it's because I grew up an internet troll, but it's his trolling of the nation.
You're not supposed to dox yourself, Sean.
We're not going too deep in that. His trolling of the nation, let alone the world, is.
What was your first screen name?
I'm not going to talk about it.
God bless it. You said some horrible things, didn't you?
I did.
Jesus.
I
never did. I was always that dumb kid that just said stuff with my main account.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't care if I get blocked.
So Zanga had this feature a long time ago, or was this add-on, and like it was something where people could live.
Is Zanga even around?
I don't know, but it's where people could live comment on your wall, on your page. Or I don't think they didn't call them walls then, right? They could live comment on your page, and they could do it anonymously.
Wait, what was Zanga? Isn't Zanga just like the app? Is Zanga just literally the apps that you played Facebook games with?
No. Zanga was like, it was like the first crack at like organized social media, right? Like Zanga and LiveJournal, right? And then MySpace came along and dominated that market.
I think I remember LiveJournal, but I think it was only for like high school potheads and lesbians.
Okay, well. It was
I wasn't allowed to be there. I couldn't sit.
So Zanga was a competitor to LiveJournal. Yeah, and so I had a Zanga, and then I eventually had a MySpace. But Zanga had this feature where people could like leave comments on your page.
How modern.
Yeah, but it was like, and they could be anonymous, so people were leaving me some mean ass shit all the time.
Wait, who thought that was a good idea? Don't they know that there are like hormonal 14-year-olds on the internet?
But the internet was so new to us at that point, right? This was late 90s, early 2000s, right? So this is
wow, I was way out of the loop.
Yeah. So,
I was way out of I was still riding my bike in the streets.
Yeah, this was long before the dawn of MySpace, before, Tom had
my mom's probably shaking her head right now. She's like, you always hurt yourself on that stupid bicycle.
Yeah, it was before Tom was everyone's friend, right? Or,
Tom, what was his last name?
I don't know.
Well, that's super creepy. I mean, I've searched for my MySpace and I can't find it.
I've found mine.
I think I may have deleted it when I switched over to Facebook.
I think you did. You that was an endeavor for you because I remember we worked together at Starbucks, and that was an endeavor for you because you talked about downloading all your pictures and transferring them all over to Facebook. And
How do you remember this?
I got a weird memory, man. It just holds on to certain things. It's strange.
I mean, my memory can be like that sometimes too, I think. But for me with MySpace, I was like, oh yeah, I had that.
Yeah.
Completely forgot.
Well, I remember you talking about it. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But, yeah. Anyway. I was,
Trump was never on MySpace, was he?
That's a good question.
Can we search that? I want to know now. Donald Trump, official on MySpace. Stop it. What does MySpace even look like? Stop everything.
Oh my God, it's a MAGA.
This is amazing. This is what MySpace looks like now?
Yeah. It's geared toward
music,
it's
videos,
geared
people.
toward musicians and stuff, but I don't know.
Well, yeah, it gave us Adele. It gave us Amy Winehouse.
Yeah.
Duffy. These are all great people.
Yeah.
I miss Duffy.
Bio.
Wow, this hasn't been updated in like...
A year.
Wait, what's the music on here? Can we play this?
No.
This is your cue. Just start typing to find music. Oh, I don't know. Stop it. That is not his playlist.
No, it's not. It's just Discover.
Oh. I was like, there is no way. Donald J. What is the J?
Wait,
stand for?
are they monetizing?
What?
Is Facebook monetizing? Are they able to turn money with this?
Facebook?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know anything about Facebook.
Or no,
MySpace?
geez, MySpace, yeah. Yeah, are they monetizing?
Listen, I barely know what that means.
Are they even turning a profit here? Are they even revenuing? And how?
You're talking to the wrong person. I don't listen. I forgot MySpace even existed for like 5 years of my life.
Fair.
And I was like, oh, maybe I should go back and find that. See what embarrassing things are on my MySpace, my walls. You know, with your backdrops, and you're like, I'm pretty sure. You know what? I think the OC Mix 5 album was my permanent MySpace playlist. I remember that clearly. And I don't care what anybody says. That was a great collection of music.
Oh my God. I found my old profile.
Stop.
Shut up.
I can't believe.
This goes deep, bro.
Did you express your feelings on there?
Oh my God, these photos are cringe. No, this is so cringe. Oh my God, this goes back. Okay, I'm gonna leave that up. I'm gonna look at that later. Anyway, wow, Happy New Year, everybody.
Yeah, Happy New Year. We're throwing it back a little bit.
Just a little bit. Welcome everyone, once again to 2018, Boozed and Bothered. I am your producer, Sean.
My name is Jonathan, and I am drinking a gin and tonic.
Yeah, I am drinking a wine from Clarksburg. Delta Jubilee.
Well, I
2014.
Clarksburg that's cute. I love Clarksburg.
Cheers.
Cheers, man.
Cheers to a new year.
Hold on. This is not my MySpace.
Are we going back into that right now?
I'm just trying to find me. I don't know anything about these people. You
There's a lot
got
of-
got me hooked. Nobody ever found. There's a Jonathan Martins on MySpace, but it's definitely not me.
A lot of pictures of exes here. I don't know how I feel about this.
I mean, yeah, I don't know.
Shut up right now.
Yeah, I don't think I have one. I think it's gone forever.
Oh my God, I had the dad cell phone clip.
Stop it. The one on your belt?
Yeah.
That goes sideways?
Yeah.
That is the dad clip.
That's as dad as it gets. Wow. Holy cow. This is ridiculous. Wow, this is so ridiculous right now. How's your holiday?
It was quiet.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was quiet, and it's done. You know, I'm not a holiday person. I just don't. I was just every time they come on, I just want them over. Like every time like the season rolls around, I'm just like there's no bad like, oh God, like this is so horrible. It just let's just get this over with. I don't want to do this.
Sure.
And then it's done.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
How was yours? I know you did the jumping around to people's houses.
God, yeah, I had so many houses to go to. Christmas wasn't that bad. I mean, I just went to 2 places, but my family ordered takeout, and my mom made cheesecake and all that stuff. So
I like that. That's fun.
It was pretty quiet generally. I was home, pretty early, and obviously we did the Shady Lady thing. Went out to the bar and.
Oh, I was.
You didn't. You were.
I was drunk.
Hammered at home.
I was drunk at home. I was like, well, I'm just gonna drink this wine, I guess.
Yeah.
And then poop.
Yeah, pretty much. So
I know people were like, Johnny, come out, and I was like,
nah.
I'm not gonna make it.
Yeah. So did that.
But we did get to see Shauna, and I was very happy to see Shauna.
That was a lot of fun.
I love the fact that she comes to town for the holidays.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
That's Christmas for me. I love that.
Yeah. No, that's cool. And then from there it was just whatever really. Yeah, and then New Year's was work.
Yeah.
Worked all of New Year's. So.
Yeah. I don't know. I think part of being adult is realizing that holidays are not, I don't know, holidays are not what they were when you were a kid.
No.
And not in like a good or bad way. It's just, I mean, meh.
It's just the way it is.
Yeah.
Just the way it is.
That's all right, though.
Yeah, no, it's totally fine. I wouldn't worry too much about it. So
Neither would I. I mean,
it's whatever. Anyway,
but I mean, nothing really like. I don't know. The government went on Christmas break, and like literally nothing happened. There was nothing going on. It was weird, especially after like a breakneck year where like everything was constantly like it was impossible like most of last year to keep up with the news because it was every single day like the story changed or it evolved in a new way or there was a whole new story and like people were freaking out about something. And I mean, it was kind of nice and also kind of weird to have that like real slowdown.
Yeah, that break.
Yeah. I mean, tax reform came and that was like the final thing.
Yeah. That's true, huh?
Mm-hmm.
And everything just kind of quieted down. Well,
I mean...
for normal people.
True. But we came back in. I mean, we're starting the year off. I feel like we're starting the year off a lot less frantically.
Yeah.
Unfrantically. Non-frantically.
Sure. I get what you mean.
Less frantic. I don't know. Anyways, and I mean, Democrats were definitely taken aback by an aired, live streamed, cameras present discussion with Trump, and the New York Times and the Hill both brought it up, and I had some discussion on Facebook about this too, but Democrats seem to be really taken aback by the fact that Trump is open to, I mean, really whatever he said, whatever you guys send me, basically.
Sure.
I'll sign it.
Sure.
As long as it includes the border wall, which,
Some people had some issues. Kamala Harris made.
well, Kamala Harris can kick rocks.
She's
Okay,
Kamala
she's,
Harris. So
I know that people are looking at her and they're like, is she the 2020 contender? And I'm like, please run.
please, God.
Please run, because everyone thinks that Kamala Harris is this like star, attorney general, powerful senator woman. She didn't exactly have the cleanest run as attorney general for the few years that she was here in California.
Yeah.
And it's not as if she doesn't have any controversy behind her. So let her run.
Yeah.
What people always forget that left coast liberals do not represent the majority of Democrats throughout the rest of the country. And clearly, as we've seen, it doesn't matter if you win the state of California. That is not a guarantee for the presidency.
No.
It's important because there's a big number here, but it doesn't mean anything.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, Kamala Harris is as California Democrat as they get, and it's skeezy leftist politics.
Yeah.
And that's not to say that there aren't Republicans like Jeff Sessions, who we can talk about later. Little Keebler,
We'll get to that.
Keebler Elf, who hates pot cookies.
Yeah. So rude.
Jesus. But Democrats seem to be really taken aback by the Trump thing with immigration, and I don't know why.
Yeah.
I think that they must have this idea that Trump just hates all foreigners, and they've been running with this like,
Oh yeah.
racist, whatever.
Bigoted kind of
And it's like,
narrative.
there's a difference between the politician and the people who vote for him, and some of his voters are a little racist.
A little.
Let's,
A lottle.
listen, there are some,
I know a few of them personally.
and that's everybody's personal choice a little bit. I would listen, controversial opinion, I don't care about racist opinions. I think the moment that racist opinions start to adjust government policy, that's where I have a problem. But if you want to go and sit on your front porch and hate somebody for no reason other than the way they look, you can go jack off by yourself.
Yeah, by all means.
No one cares about your opinion.
I think, for me, I definitely can agree with you there. I think the line starts with force, right? Violent force.
Yeah.
And if you want to hate people for the color of their skin and just all by yourself, that's fine. Then maybe you start showing up to like their gatherings and parties and start like not even just instigating violence, but being actually violent, like threatening lives.
Like when you're gross like that, like that's just,
yeah. I hope you get punched in the face.
well, one you're kind of asking for at that point. But
Please.
But at the same, I think, everybody has the right to defend themselves, and everybody has the right to, speak their truth.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that you don't get to face the consequences of
Sure.
that personal truth.
Right.
And I think that's great. I think that people freely lashing out and using market forces to, silence this
Mm-hmm.
kind of sentiment, I think is great. But I think that people were really taken aback by the Trump position on immigration reform and making a deal. One, because he let the press in and allowed the press to stay through the entire meeting, which seems to be a surprise, or seemed to be at the time a surprise to the members of Congress that were there,
Sure.
because I don't think they were expecting that. And two, to the liberal voting base, because they didn't expect to see Trump acting diplomatically, I guess.
Yeah.
And I don't know what else to say about, like, I don't think that anybody actually cares if 11 million people, if that is the number, stay here. and if there is a path to citizenship. I think that there's a lot of moralizing and finger wagging and partisanship that goes into that.
Yeah.
I personally don't care if you made them all citizens tomorrow.
Yeah. Sure, whatever.
People like cringe and they're like amnesty, and it's like, who? You know, we faced this debate during the presidential debates in the last cycle. How are you actually going to successfully? And Gary Johnson really nailed this down, and got some praise for it before he shot himself in the foot repeatedly. I love Gary. I think he's great. I love his political instincts. I think that he's right most of the time. I don't think that he's the best person to convey his policy positions.
Sure.
But we all trip out. Like, nobody's perfect, and I think that in a race that felt like there was so much on the line that people just couldn't overlook personal flaws.
Well, there was a lot of them out there.
Well, I mean, they weren't willing to allow somebody who was a little serious, who was a little unserious and self-deprecating, but with some good solutions. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I really do like Gary Johnson. I think he was the better of the best middle road that could be presented in 2016, and I have no regrets about voting for him twice or voting for him again. But Trump doesn't care about these people. Not like he doesn't care and he wants them all to die. I don't think he cares about them. I think that he wants this to be a done thing because all he wants is the W. He just wants to win.
Yeah.
And he wants the two W's. He wants the win and he wants the wall. Whatever good he thinks the wall is going to do. I don't know that it's going to do any good.
Sure.
People make fun of it all the time. I think that there's a sense of security and deterrent that's built into a barrier, but if he wants to spend billions on the wall, spend billions on the wall, I guess. It's it's either that or we buy like new warships and spend the billions anyways. Like the money is going to go to something.
Sure.
But I don't understand why Democrats were so taken aback by the fact that he didn't care what they sent him as long as the wall was included. And somebody said I think it was in the New York Times piece, and they kind of brought up when Ronald Reagan went to Iceland to try and negotiate for a reduction in nuclear arms with the Soviet Union at the time.
Yeah.
And that the Republicans balked and they totally shut him down. And it was a failure of diplomacy. The New York Times kind of goes into that for a brief second. And I think the only thing here is that I don't know that Republicans actually have the ability to stand against Trump. Because every time they have, they've gotten completely massacred.
Oh, my God. Blitzed. Yeah. It's astounding, honestly.
I mean,
because during the campaign, a number of them came out and essentially sort of tried to turn the entire party against him.
The Never Trumpers.
And it failed miserably. I mean, you go from Ted Cruz refusing to endorse him at the Republican
John Kasich.
Yeah, you go from Ted Cruz refusing to endorse him at the Republican National Convention, and all of a sudden he's in a room making phone calls for the.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that. Well, and then as soon as he won the election, of course, everybody kneeled before the king and kissed the ring. I find it really amazing that Democrats will cling to any Republican who bucks the system. Jeff Flake, for instance.
Yeah.
Jeff Flake was like a thing in November.
Yeah.
And early December, and they were like, Jeff Flake, he's our Republican hopeful, blah, 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 blah. And guess what? No one gives a shit.
Yeah.
No one cares about Jeff Flake. Jeff Flake doesn't even care about his own political career. If he did, he would have negotiated with the person that he saw holding all the gravity.
Yeah.
Democrats have no... He's giving them... Democrats have no position for bargaining. There's none. They hold more seats in competition in this midterm election than Republicans do.
Sure.
There's a few signs that Democrats could pick up, but there's a lot more signs that Republicans will hold firm and maybe even pick up.
Right.
Especially if things go well. You know, by the time elections roll around, Democrats are going to be facing a continuation of a growing economy, about 10 or 11 months of tax cuts, surging stock values, and, you know, pensions are going up. Everything, there's literally nothing for Democrats to complain about.
Right.
Except for the fact that their person didn't win. But even Democrats are doing well right now.
Right.
And it's not looking like Democrats really have much of an argument, because they don't really have a counter to this. Except to say that we could do it better.
Yeah.
But they can't. And Republicans also don't have much of an argument to make against Trump, because he's done everything that they could possibly dream of in a first year. And if he secures amnesty, he even said, you know, if people call it amnesty, I don't care. I can take the heat.
Right.
Well, then that moderates the Republican Party, because he's leading it.
Right.
And they can't buck that. They can sit there and, you know, all the Joe Arpaio or whatever the hell his name is in Arizona is like, I'm running for Senate, despite the fact that I was convicted of a felony and I ran a penal prison system, you know, and abused inmates. He's running for Senate, I think, to take Jeff Flake's seat, you know, and it's like, that doesn't fly nationally. No one cares about it. People are repulsed by you.
Yeah.
Sheriff Joe, kick rocks. The Republicans don't have an argument against Trump. It failed.
Yeah.
Every argument's failed. You know, Jeff Flake instantly cucked. No one cares. He made himself so irrelevant. He was like, I'm taking a stand. I'm not running again. I'm going to be brave. And people were like, and Democrats were like, oh my God, he's so brave. He's bucking the party. And everyone else was like, who the hell is Jeff Flake?
Yeah.
And why is he running through the streets of Washington like an idiot? I'm not going to run again. The rest of America. Cool story.
Okay.
Yeah, no one cares.
Yeah.
And it's the same story. And it's like, if Trump is honestly doing this bad, how is he so politically untouchable?
Right.
And if he does get a deal, I mean, if he does get a deal on immigration that Democrats can support, what are they going to run on? And now he's got them kind of in a corner here. It's not a total checkmate or anything like that, but it's a bit of a check. Or at least there's a fire burning somewhere underneath them, because he said, send me a deal.
Right.
So if Democrats aren't willing to participate, and he did that publicly, kind of brilliantly, live feed.
Yeah.
I don't know what Democrats can say. All he's asking for is funding for the wall and an end to the system of immigration that allows chain immigration.
Right.
I mean, he's kind of asking for the Canadian immigration format.
Yeah.
I don't know what Democrats have to complain about.
It's almost, and yeah.
And they're screwed. What are you gonna do? We're not gonna have a liberal leftist immigration format. We're not gonna do that. We're gonna have an even more liberal and leftist.
Yeah.
The only thing Democrats can do is move to the right, which would be hilarious. We want open borders.
Oh my God.
Meanwhile, libertarians start voting Democrat. I don't get it. I think it's funny. I think it's hilarious. I think he has them on the rope-a-dope. And I don't know what they plan on doing about this. Other than playing ball.
If they want any kind of a win, they're going to have to play ball.
If he gets tax reform done in a month after years of politicians sitting down with their thumbs up their asses, Trump already has tax reform. If he gets immigration reform, Democrats are not going to be able to run in 2020.
Right.
I mean,
not even if they put up Oprah.
Jesus, I hate you so much. You know, listen, Ben Shapiro made a great point about this, and it is true. It would be a hard pill for people to swallow to take somebody from, I think he said, a 90% approval rating. I think he was pulling that number out of his ass, but I would not doubt that Oprah is somewhere around 90% favorability. And the system of politics and the way that it works would take her from a 90% to a 50%.
Yeah.
Instantly.
Easy.
Oprah's kind of opaque when it comes to her politics.
Yeah.
Everybody assumes that she's a little bit to the left, but she's also not an idiot. She's very intelligent.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she's very savvy.
Yeah.
Obviously. You know, there's really nothing bad that you can say about Oprah, and it would just, I think, break America's heart if Oprah started being disagreeable. I think the only way Oprah could run is if she ran as an independent.
Yeah.
But the moment she gets tied to one party, she destroys her entire brand. Completely ruins that. And you know what really pisses me off? It pisses me off that people want this for Oprah. Like, being the president is the best thing in the world. I don't think any living president would tell you that. I think they would all tell you that it's a very rewarding job or whatever bullshit.
It's also a very difficult job.
Yeah, and that it sucks.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, it looks pretty thankless.
I mean, you have to have the world's biggest ego. And
Yeah.
I think, I would never want that for Oprah. I would never want Oprah to suffer. What, to save us? That's the most selfish thing I ever heard also, is that people want Oprah to run for the Democrat nomination to save this country.
Well, you know what really bugs me about it is the audacity kind of behind this state, because what drives me crazy is that this is taking, right? And I just spent 2016 listening to people talk about how Trump is not qualified for the position, right? Because, you know, he's a TV star billionaire and he doesn't have a political background.
Right.
And then you're going to turn around 2 years later and tell me that you're seriously considering putting Oprah in the running.
I mean, I get...
Also a person who doesn't have a political career, who's never had a political career.
I mean, I will say that I don't necessarily mind that people from outside, like, the legal or political sphere would want to run for office or whatever. I just think that, for me, I don't want that for Oprah.
Right. No, but that's not my issue. My issue is that a lot of these people who are saying...
Oh, that it's hypocritical?
It's hypocritical.
Well, I think listen, Michelle...
Half of the fucking country was flipping out about Donald Trump not being qualified, not having the credentials. That was one of the biggest arguments against him.
Okay, first of all, at the Democrat Party nomination celebration or whatever, Michelle Obama said, "When they go low, we go high." And the reality is that this is politics, and what Michelle Obama said was bullshit.
Agreed.
It's not true. Okay, it's a fun sentiment, but it's absolute horseshit. Democrats have been remarkably unreasonable as a voting bloc, mostly because they're ineffective and they lost. And they didn't just lose big. They lost to the point where they have no say in government whatsoever, and no one cares.
They got obliterated.
And the only
They
reason,
lost all three branches.
well, yeah, and the only reason that Democrats matter to the political process right now is because they scream loudly,
Yeah.
which is part of politics, I guess. But it you have either the presidency matters or it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And I wish that the screaming part would stop. Both and that's
On both
not-
ends.
On both ends.
Yeah.
Because I mean, listen, it was pretty hard sitting through Obama, not because Democrats were. It's not the smugness of the left, but it's the absolute hysteria on the right, where like everything was ending.
Yeah.
It's like
Burning effigies and
it's like
yeah.
first
We're
of
turning
all,
communist and
President Obama, highest deportation rate.
record for most days in conflict during a presidency.
Yeah, lots of bombs were dropped.
Bombs dropped from day one to his very last day nonstop. Yeah.
I mean, we're getting scandals about the Hezbollah thing now, but at the time and going through it, continue prosecuting the war on drugs, continue prosecuting the war on terror. I mean, it's easy to see that when Colorado legalized marijuana, that President Obama was like, okay, well, we need a policy to like deal with this at a federal level where states have the right to make these decisions. That was really cute, except that people forget that that was not his administration's position prior to Colorado.
No, it wasn't.
That he was incredibly invasive and that he used the Justice Department to go into states and shut down.
Such as our very own.
Yes. And Jerry Brown just let him walk right through his own. I was going to say a bad word, but walk right.
No, but Jerry Brown did. He let him just waltz right on
Yeah.
in.
And that was what, 2009?
Yeah.
It just, fuck Obama and fuck Trump. It doesn't matter. If you're looking to political idols to like, I don't know, balance your emotional stability.
Or save you, nonetheless.
Yeah. Oprah's not going to save you.
No.
And I don't want Oprah to save me. I don't want Trump to save me. I don't want Obama to save me. I don't want George Bush to save me, but at least we know that he can fly a fighter plane, a fighter jet. That's cool. I don't wish that for Oprah.
Right.
Speaking of medical marijuana.
Yeah, I was actually just about to say.
Or not medical, just marijuana.
Weed.
Marihuna.
Yeah. We got to ring in the new year greenly here in California. And, God, without missing much of a beat, Jeff Sessions made some moves.
The angriest Keebler Elf in the tree. He is... First of all, if there's one person that hates fun, it has to be Jeff Sessions.
Oh, my God. He's a
just not even with weed. Like, there's no fun allowed anywhere in Washington because Jeff Sessions might be on a walk.
He has a bump on a log. This guy is, how, like in movies and they kind of, every once in a while, like in some movies, they'll have that kind of cultish, like church family who's like, they just play Scrabble and they're like bumps on a log and they don't know how to have like any real, like he is the real life version of that obnoxious caricature.
I was going to say he's the Eeyore of the White House.
He is. He absolutely is. He's totally the Eeyore of the White House. With a little more
drugs and criminals.
with more. He's a more assertive version of Eeyore. That's definitely for sure because Eeyore is just he's lazy. But yeah, the new year rolls around. We California, for claiming to be the liberal bastion of America, it was the third state on the West Coast to finally legalize recreational marijuana in an obnoxious way, might I add, because the taxes on it are a little outrageous. But
And they vary by county. I'm sure it varies by county
Yeah.
in Colorado and Oregon and Washington as well. Wait, I do have a question for this, and I honestly don't think we prepared for this. Did California? They did not retroactively decriminalize this, did they? So if you were arrested for this, you were cleared.
yeah, I'm pretty sure it wasn't retroactive.
That sucks.
Dude.
Oregon did that, and it was great for them.
Shit. I can only imagine what it was like. What it's like right now to be someone who's in prison or jail for a marijuana like possession crime,
Yeah, that's super messed up.
and it's illegal.
Especially since last night I had like a super bad headache and I couldn't sleep, so I smoked a bowl. It's like the first time in a year, and I was like, "There's only one thing that's gonna help," and I was like, "Here we go."
Dude, I've been meaning to go down to the store, and I want to try your dad's recipe.
Yeah. I mean, I still have it.
THC, some honey, and some CBD. Man, that is a cocktail.
He said it would knock you on your ass.
Yeah, it sounds
believe.
like it would knock me on my ass.
Happy dreams.
Yeah, that's
But
fine. I'm fine with that.
I'm not a weed person. Okay, there's a reason this is called Boozed and Bothered. I'm a drinky person.
I know you are.
And I'm not a weed person at all. And I could tell because I was trying to watch a show last night and I couldn't because it was stressing me out. I was so stressed out. And I want to say it was like Law and Order or something like that. I was just, I don't
Sure.
even remember because I was like, I don't want to watch anything that I normally watch. So I just went and like put on like a random episode of like it was either Law and Order or CSI. I forget. But I was
If there was Ice-T, it was definitely
I
Law and
couldn't even
Order.
pay attention to
Oh.
who was on screen because I was so anxious the entire. I was just like in bed, just like, what is happening?
The victim had anal contusions.
Stop. And so I stopped watching that, and I went and hopped on Facebook, which of course you're supposed to do when you're a little high.
Duh.
And I read an article from, I fucking love science. I love them, even though they're super lefties. I love that page, and it was an article about climate change and bats being essentially boiled and dropping out of the sky.
Interesting.
I have never been so stressed out in my entire life.
Or bats falling out of the sky from cooking in the air?
This is why I don't smoke. I can't handle it. I really can't. I was just, the whole time, I was just in bed with my cat, and I was like, Aunt, do you see this shit? And I just, next time I'm just going to have I'm just going to take like a shot of whiskey or something like that because maybe that would have helped my headache. But I was like, no, this will be better for it's organic.
It's holistic.
Yeah, I was like, this is all natural. I don't want to take like a Tylenol. This is bad. Or that's bad, so I'm going to do this. And the next thing I know, I'm up, first of all, until like 2 a.m, freaking out about boiling bats. I was like, we have to go back to the Paris Agreement. The bats are burning. And then I realized that the story was taking place in Australia, and I was like, oh, that's not us. That's fine. But it was a very stressful couple of hours. And I had a headache still. It was the worst.
Jesus Christ.
It was a ride, okay? It was a real rough moment in my life.
So now I can see why Jeff Sessions would make a move against legal marijuana.
Yeah, me too. I was like, I almost called him. Dialing Washington.
Grandpa!
Hello, this is Washington. I need to be patched through to Jeff Sessions immediately.
Give me the Attorney General!
I'm high and I'm angry. It was a mess.
Don't send the feds, I will testify.
Listen, I'm so much happier that I have like a gin right now. This gin and tonic is much more appealing to my sensibilities because I was, I like to be funny, but I really don't like emotional roller coasters.
Yeah,
And
I can see that.
between either whatever show I was watching that had like legal jargon happening in it, It probably was like Law and Order. Between that and boiling bats,
We found semen in the victim's ear canal.
where do you get this shit from?
It's iced tea.
He's never said that.
John Mulaney.
Oh, I thought that sounded so familiar. And I was like, that doesn't sound like iced tea at all. Jesus. I do love John Mulaney, though. But we're not quoting him, you bastard. You can't quote somebody quoting another actor who may or may not allegedly have been in a show that I may or may not have watched.
Yes, I can. I will do whatever I damn well please. But
I don't even think that connection stream lined up. So whatever. Whatever. I don't even care anymore. You know, Jeff Sessions may be right, but I wish he wouldn't be. That's the moral of the story.
So the headline here on Rare is Jeff Sessions' move against legal marijuana could help fuel the opioid crisis.
Oh, I agree with this. I do agree with this.
Absolutely.
Listen, I think there are a lot of arguments against, you know, the opioids, the oxycontins.
Yeah.
Is it Oxycontin? What is it?
Oxycontin.
What's the other one?
Oxytocin.
There you go. That's what's supposed to be the more fun one, right?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't either. See, this is the problem, is that I'm so basic. I'm like, someone's like, you want to do a wild night? I'm like, oh my God, is there beer? and they're like, do you party? And I'm like, I stand sometimes around the bar. And
last time someone offered me a bump.
Nobody ever offers me drugs. I think that because they know that I'm like I'm like, oh my God, no.
So the only thing like I hadn't smoked weed till I was 28 years old. And
oh, I knew that.
And I'd never done anything else, right? I mean, obviously I drink, but you know, the last time someone offered me a bump, I was just like, I just want to Lagunitas, man. Like, and they were just chopping it up on the table.
Oh, a bump. You're talking
Cocaine.
drug
Cocaine.
lingo.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about
A line. So last time someone offered me a line, I was just like, I just want to Lagunitas.
I know. I feel like my parents always thought that I was like a super bad kid. And I was like, oh my God.
I know my mom used to get so mad at me about being out late and thinking I was causing trouble. It's like, you know, thinking I was like being some sort of like rebellious like hooligan. I was just playing video games with my friends down the street till 3 a.m.
I know. Listen.
I wasn't even going to house parties, man.
I know. My poor mom. What were you doing out there? Oh, we walked around town, and then I always felt like super guilty, like somebody had done. Like somebody, maybe me, had done something super horrible, but really like we were just walking around talking about random stuff, and like it was dark. And my mom, I swear my mom thought that I was like on all the drugs, and I was just like, no, it's just I was up really late and I'm tired.
Yeah. I know my parents were the same one. You know, they thought I was doing something. I mean, they got to the point
I
like
think that's a parent's job, though.
Yeah, my dad would call the police and like they'd send out like cops would be searching for me. Meanwhile, I'm sitting at Keaton's house playing fucking Halo. Man, I ain't doing anything.
I don't think my parents never called the cops to find me.
Right.
I mean, one time when I was like 7, my mom rolled up and the cops were pulling me out with a friend from like a construction site.
Oh well.
But that was just because we were kids and we wanted to play in the construction site. And we didn't have a sense of boundaries. My mom like rolled up on her bike, like she was riding
Jungle
her bike.
gyms are lame.
Yeah, and she was like, what is this? And the officer was like, I barely remember this, but I know it was hilarious. And my mom was like, why are you guys in that house? Or something like that. And the officer was like, they had a pretty elaborate story, ma'am. It's like my neighborhood friend. And my mom was like, get home. I was like, oh, okay, going home. Right around the corner.
Right.
I don't know. There were no drugs. I didn't do anything bad. And it's like,
Hey, it took me 28 years to hit a fucking joint.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't mind smoking weed. I always get more stressed out than I think I'm going to be.
Right.
Which is the opposite of smoking weed, apparently.
I'm just lazy. Like, I've got it, and I could smoke it whenever I want, but, like, it's just a lot of work to just grind it up and pack the bowl. Like, I just want to lay down.
I have no problem with
and
that.
just
I'm always, like, on it.
Watch
I can do
TV. I just got to get a pen. Or just have edibles ready, like, on deck.
Munchies?
Yeah. I will say that it was, I mean, some of the most fun I've had being high was, and this is nerdy. This is as nerdy as this is pretty nerdy. Was when I like got high, like I ate a brownie and I got high and I watched Elon Musk's Mars presentation.
You're
Stoned out of my mind.
Jeff Sessions would arrest you for that. He would
Elon Musk was talking about reusable rockets and how it would bring the cost down, and I was like, that's cool. And then he talked about like the actual trip to Mars, and I looked over at Brian, who was also high on, had a brownie also, and I just started laughing, and I was all, this guy wants to go where? As if I didn't know what I was watching in the first place, the Mars presentation.
I can't do it. I can't do it. One, it didn't help my headache, so now I
Right.
probably won't again. But two, it always stresses me out. I don't get relaxed. Which is, I don't know. I think that
Neither is Jeff Sessions. Maybe he should smoke.
maybe he does, and he and I have like the same reaction. You don't know his life. I don't know. I like full decriminalization though. I don't like telling people what they can and can't do.
No, yeah.
When it comes to drugs.
Legalization even gets it gets pretty hairy, right?
Oh yes, I like
decriminalization is very different than legalization. Yeah, because legalization there's paperwork and just like laws and just it's not about making it legal. It's just about making it not illegal.
Yeah, just say that it's not a thing that the government has any say over.
Yeah.
And, don't tax it. Why do people always have to tax everything?
Because roads and stuff.
They don't even use the taxes for the roads.
They don't. No, they don't. And that's that was really frustrating to me about the tax
Wow,
on.
you could use a joint right now.
Yeah, that was because that's what was really frustrating to me about the tax on marijuana, because people were talking to me like, oh well, one of the promises was for infrastructure and bridges and roads and stuff, and I was like, that's what the gas tax was supposed to be for.
The first gas tax.
The first gas tax. Then they took that money and they rerouted it to God knows what. And they said it was going to be temporary, which whenever the government says something's going to be temporary, you don't trust them. And I think we've learned this time and time again throughout the entire course of history.
Right.
And then they never rerouted the money back. So what did they do? They raised gas taxes again.
Right, because the roads.
Because my roads. And then they're going to turn around and then they're going to tax weed at an obnoxious rate and say, my roads again. Along with some other, I don't even know what else that was part of this deal.
Well, I think as skeezy as all that is, there's also like the skeeziness in licensing.
Oh my God.
Licensing is really like, it's a convoluted mess here. And I don't understand. Like, here's what I don't understand. Colorado, Washington, and Oregon all did this. California had the models to look at this. They had international models. They had Portugal to look at. What's the... I don't... I know that Canada legalized weed recently, right?
I think so.
I don't know. I'd have to look at that. But there are plenty of models to look at when it comes to crafting policy. And I don't know why California had to go with, to be honest, the most neocon position.
It is draconian.
It is as statist and as... why? Like, there's so many layers onto it, and they were like, and like their excuse is like, we just want to make sure that this is legit. And it's like, you're keeping drug dealers on the street.
You are. And that's the thing. And
Because anybody can get weed for a fraction of the cost as it does through an illegitimate black market means, which is just their guy, versus going down and paying 20 to 40% taxes on it.
Right, and that's the thing. And that was Washington's problems, right? Because, and out of all the models California had, they had to go with, we're looking pretty close to Washington right now. Because Washington still has a strong black market in marijuana, right?
Who wants to pay 20% on weed?
Right, all the pot shops don't take card. They take Bitcoin and Litecoin and cash, but they don't take card because they don't want that paper trail, right? And then because of that, and they continue in Washington, they continue to overregulate weed, and then they still have this huge black market for it, and legislators are going, well, why? And I don't understand how these states, Washington and California in particular, claim to be these. Who are supposedly these liberal bastions, right, are imposing such draconian policies on something like weed, which is something that people in both states have fought for to legalize, if not at least or decriminalize, if not at least legalize, for a very long time.
Well, and I don't understand why California even went this route. I mean, what? It's so insane to imagine that California looked at this, that the people who crafted this policy looked at this and they were like, you know what the best way to get voters to the ballot box on this is? Make this as convoluted and as centralized and as governmental as possible. I can understand where there's like a sales tax.
Sure.
Standard state and municipal sales tax applies to marijuana sales. Okay, fine.
Fair.
That's like 8.5% or something. Whatever insane sales tax California pays already. But I mean, it's so insane. Like the amount of taxes that can be put on this are astronomical, and it's all municipal block by municipal block. It's like counties. LA County has one of the highest rates.
Oh my God, yeah. What is it? It's like
it's 7.5% by standard, and in Los Angeles County, it's going to be 9.5%. Here in Sacramento County, it's going to be 7.8%. But up in northern and eastern California, you're going to be looking at much lower rates because these are the growing regions.
Yeah. Humboldt.
Modoc County, 7.25 is the sales tax rate. Trinity County, 7.25. That seems to be the lowest. Sacramento's in the middle of that. Monterey County is 8.2. San Francisco County is 8.8. How are these people? Fresno County, 8.0269%. Who the fucking comes up with these numbers? Like, this is stupid. Tulare County, 7.8. Just like, why though? Why? Why the hell would you put an extraordinary tax rate? And it's like the city of Los Angeles is adding its own to it. And it's like,
it's crazy.
Stop.
Yeah.
By increasing taxes on this, you're not just increasing potential revenue for the state or whatever. You're increasing the likelihood that people will drop below the system.
Bypass the state.
When you create, it's like cigarettes in New York. People are like Eric Garner, and it's like with his illegal cigarettes and what led to his
demise. Ultimately.
Yeah, his death. It's like the vast majority of cigarettes in New York are assumed to be sold as black market cigarettes because the taxes on them are so high that they just go somewhere else and grab cigarettes and then sell them under the table.
It's crazy.
And that will get you killed in New York, apparently. And it's like, this is what, by creating a system that doesn't allow markets to just work, okay, you don't like something, that's fine. But when you put so much pressure on it, when you tax weed out the ante for it, all you're doing is ensuring that the black market will persist.
Yeah.
And that the black market will be even more successful because not only does the black market have legitimacy to sell weed to a certain extent, but because they're dodging the tax rate, they're selling it much cheaper, and that's highly competitive. You're killing the competitive advantage. Who wouldn't like the simple, clean, pure experience of just going into a shop, paying whatever for weed, and going? But this complicates it. It makes it much more expensive. And, just... we can't have nice things. People can't just do the simple route.
No.
Decriminalization would have been the best route. It would have been the easiest. And then to go back and decriminalize it in reverse, I think would have been a better policy. Of course, Jerry Brown didn't do that.
Duh.
He never asked for that. It just... there's so much hypocrisy in the Democratic Party in this state. It's astronomical.
Right.
And it's astonishing. And Jeff Sessions wants to craft policy. And it's like, you're losing the fight, dude.
Yeah. Number one.
You're losing the fight.
Number one, this is a long train running. And states are doing this like dominoes now. If it's not legal at all, it's going to be medical soon. And shortly thereafter.
In half of all states, it's medically
I think it's like
legal.
21 states, something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, but all polls for the past 4 years have shown a slim and growing majority of Republican voters favoring full legal weed.
Yeah.
And an even greater number of Republican voters supporting medical weed, which you can't... something insane would have to happen to turn those poll numbers around. That's societal progress right there.
Yeah.
That's saying that the GOP is losing the culture war when it comes to drugs, and it really needs to reevaluate its position on them because it's not going to have an easy time making these cases against drugs, and drugs is like underlined in quotation marks because what are drugs? Drugs are everything.
Yeah.
Alcohol's a drug. I'm not going to really compare alcohol to cocaine, but...
well, it's different levels, right?
Yeah, they're just different things.
Different kinds of severity.
But I mean, they're different categories too. And
yeah.
It's like... but it all comes down to personal choice. And if the government's going to be so involved, I mean, there's no real backing down from this. I mean, it doesn't matter that public opinion is just switching. That's not the only thing here. It's that there are other options, and we live in an age of greater information. People know things better. I mean, obviously, tribal knowledge when it comes to drugs and other things and politics will always persist, but drugs are a much less, foggy issue.
Sure.
Especially as studies come out, as legalization comes forward on marijuana, there's more studies, there's more testing, there's more science that goes into this that can be published. It becomes mainstream, and it's hard to combat that politically. And, I don't know how long Jeff Sessions can hold on to his position because he's fighting upstream here. And I think trying to craft Department of Justice policy in the Trump administration in a way that is directly counter to the way that polls are going, and not just polls, but actual, in-state policies, I think is just going to put him at odds, and he's either going to be ineffective or he's going to be fired.
Right.
And one can lead to the other. So
if he's ineffective, he's definitely,
Well, and I think that Trump would have I think he would be well within his rights if he has no confidence because his attorney general is incapable of crafting policy that, is workable.
Yeah.
There's no way Trump is going to allow Jeff Sessions to lead a crusade through all medical and legal weed states.
Right.
It's not going to happen.
It's bad, and honestly, in regards to his administration, it's bad for business.
Mm-hmm.
That is bad for business.
I mean, there's nowhere that it's like the gay thing in politics.
Yeah.
The moment that gay in quotes was allowed to go mainstream, the social crusades were over.
Mm-hmm.
Weed is in the same position.
Sure.
We are now doxing these things. It is not. Weed is diminishing when it comes to the social pariah perspective, and gay is still well on that path to being entirely diminished. These are social norms, and legal weed is proving to be not a big deal.
Sure.
Colorado's making money, and really nothing else is happening. So I think that Jeff Sessions is kind of on the losing end of this.
Absolutely.
And it's not going to go well. It's not going to go well for him.
I mean, everyone likes to make the comments about, going back to the 50s with this administration, right? And most of the time it's a funny joke or it's something to laugh at when someone actually says it seriously. But Jeff Sessions is legitimately embodying that right now. I mean, the guy's talking reefer madness. I mean, not literally, right? I mean, although I mean, he's, some of the scientists, whether or not they actually are, who are on his side, are towing that line,
Yeah.
But I mean, if there's anyone in Trump's administration who brings any sort of legitimate truth to that whole people want to bring this country back to the 50s thing, it's Jeff Sessions.
And
by and far.
And he's been relatively out of step with the administration's perspective.
Absolutely.
For a long time now.
Absolutely.
And you have to wonder if Trump, I mean, this was said in editorials after Alabama, but you have to wonder if Trump's looking at Jeff Sessions and going, I lost a Senate seat to put you in this position, and you're really fucking it up.
Yeah.
Jeff Sessions he had to recuse himself from the Russia probe.
Yeah.
Because he was involved with the campaign. He's way out of step on the issue of marijuana.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know where he's actually in line with
the administration.
And I don't think that there's any agreement there other than the fact maybe immigration. But then Trump threw out a bone to Democrats today, and even Republicans with that were a little baffled because they were expecting him to be a hardliner, but they really can't. They can't argue against it because they're kind of stuck to it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know where Sessions, because he's a hardline neoconservative, and anyone who actually, tweets and all that bullshit aside, who actually looks at Donald Trump and his policies and how he conducts himself as a politician, his true north is not traditional conservatism.
Donald Trump is like a fiscally aware 90s Democrat.
Yeah. That's exactly it. He's left, a lot of the
he doesn't care about the gays.
Yeah, he doesn't. He's left a lot of those laws alone, and he's even said it as far as the Supreme Court goes.
I don't even think he said anything about marijuana. I think when he talks about drugs, he's talking about like La Coca.
Yeah, no, he's talking about
No.
he's talking about the stuff that gets in from Southern America.
People, I think, are
South America. Sorry.
Yeah, and people are still very surprised by the fact that Donald Trump is sober. He does not drink.
Yeah,
he doesn't drink and he doesn't smoke cigarettes. He's anti-tobacco and he's anti-alcohol.
Yeah.
Severely.
Yeah. And so Jeff Sessions, out of everyone,
I don't know if
has
it's
been
scarier
the
that he's like this sober, but
right.
I think that makes it funnier.
Jeff Sessions, out of everyone, has been out of everyone on the cabinet, on the administration, has been his most, to me, baffling choice.
Well, I mean, I guess I don't know that Donald Trump is necessarily as intelligent as this, but I feel like Trump's cabinet is primarily technocrats.
Okay.
You know, these are business and technology people.
Yeah.
I don't think that Jeff Sessions necessarily fits in on that.
Right.
And I really wouldn't be surprised if he was gone well before elections. And for whatever reason, you know, I don't think he can last.
No.
I
don't think he can last. I don't think he can last. You know, especially given the rate of turnover in this administration, I honestly don't see any way he lasts a full term.
No, I don't think so. Which is fine. I mean, Jeff Sessions needs to go away. First of all, if the last thing that Republicans need to be concerned with, and I know that Republicans like to be like hard on drugs and stuff, like that's the party line, but Republicans need to be very careful when they push that too far to the point where it becomes an assault on the 10th Amendment and the states' rights perspective. Because the moment they cross that line, it's Democrats have them in the crosshairs on that.
Oh yeah,
and they already are. It's the political narrative from the left, but Democrats have the right of it. And if Republicans are going to allow Jeff Sessions, congressional Republicans are going to allow Jeff Sessions to even actively pursue some sort of policy against states that have legal marijuana, I think Republicans put themselves in a bind.
Absolutely.
And that would be really unfortunate. That would give the left an argument, and I think they're ready.
They're waiting.
Let's wrap it up there, I think.
Yeah.
All right. Well, again, I'm Jonathan. Thanks for listening to Booze and Bothered, episode 7.
I'm Sean, and I'm your producer. Thank you guys again. Check us out on Facebook.com/boozedandbothered, Twitter.com/boozedandbothered, or @boozedandbothered on Twitter, and boozedandbothered.com. Also look for us on SoundCloud. We're on iTunes, and we're also on Google Play. We're glad to be back. Happy New Year's, guys. And
yeah, welcome to 2018. And of course, all those links will be put into our Medium post.
Yeah, and we will see you guys again next week.
Have a good one.